Hey, Shalom, Yasharala, which means peace, Israel. I'd like to start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakadash, Yahweh. That's the true and powerful, mighty name of who the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh, or Ahio. Bahashim means in the name, Yahweh Shai. That's the true and powerful, mighty name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yeshua, or Yeshaya. And the Rahachodash is the Holy Spirit, according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. I would like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have learned the truth of the Bible from. And be please in peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect, unto you believers and listeners out there that came back into the faith and obedience of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and much love and respect unto you brothers pushing this gospel and sincerity and truth, risking your lives and freedom now more so than ever. May Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai continue to bless you and your households. I'm the brother Yawam, coming back at you with another lesson. The Lord willing is edifying to the Lord's elect. And running into some technical difficulties today. Just moving this past weekend and paying my phone bill slipped my mind, so I ain't got no service. But while I was connected to the Wi-Fi at work, I asked chat, can give me precepts and breakdown 1 Corinthians 15:58, which reads, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be you steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Right? Okay, so yeah, we gotta, keep pushing, be unmovable, be, rooted, make sure our foundation, which is Yahweh Shai, is built on the rock and not sand. All right, make sure that our foundation is stable and that our roots make sure our roots dig deep in the ground. So when that wind comes, wind represents destruction and chaos, we won't be shaken. Okay? So the context first, why Paul says, therefore, 1 Corinthians 15 is about the resurrection, victory over death, the reward of the elect. So verse 58 is the conclusion, because resurrection and reward are real. Don't quit, don't compromise, and don't fold. Right? If you're seeing a lot of people quitting and compromising, all right, the Apostle Tahar deemed this year, 2026, the year of apostates, agents, and sellouts. And, you were seeing a lot of that towards the end of 2025. Some of these Israelite groups, all right, changing the whole doctrine, losing patience, putting the plow down, looking behind. Hey, they're going to be destroyed unless they repent. Okay? So key phrase breakdown and precept. So the first is be you steadfast, meaning being firm in doctrine, rooted in the truth, and not double-minded or emotionally driven. And a lot of these guys, they switch up the doctrine. They're not firm. Okay, they roots shit didn't even really go deep into the ground, if they broke ground at all. So precepts, Colossians 1:23. Grab that. Salakia. Colossians 1:23. If you continue in the faith, grounded, meaning being rooted, okay, and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel, which is the good news that Yahweh Shai, that Yahweh sent his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, as a Messiah to redeem the lost sheep of Israel, starting with the elect, which ye have heard, and which was preached. Oh, and then his resurrection too. Yahweh resurrected him from the dead on the third day. Something that we have to believe in is truth. Okay, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, and made a minister. So yeah, we got to, we got to be grounded in this thing. Next one is Psalms 112 and 7. Psalms 112 and 7. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right, when something is fixed, it's not being moved unless the person or the entity that fixed it removes it. Slack it with me. Bear with me a second. Slack it. So like I was saying, when something is fixed, it's not moving. And the only way it will move is whoever put it up there to be fixed removes it and takes it down. Okay. And our hearts, our mind need to be fixed on trusting Yahweh while Yahweh Shai. This whole little grace period of you when you've been in the truth was, first for you to get right with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, but it's also him showing you that he's dealing with you and trying to build that trust and that bond with you. Okay? James 1 and 8, a double-minded man is unstable. James 1 and 8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? And somebody that's unstable, hey, they fickle, man. Anything unstable is shakes, is moved, okay, can easily fall. So being steadfast means you don't change your understanding every time pressure comes, whether from persecution, emotion, or confusion. And that's true. And when any of those things happen, we are to pray unto Yahweh Bashim Yahweh for strength and guidance. All right. 2, unmovable. Salakia. But unmovable, not swayed by false doctrine, and not moved by scoffers, persecution, or time. Right? Because a lot of people put a timestamp on, when Yahweh Shah need to return, and if it doesn't, if it exceeds that timestamp, they'll lose hope. Some, get disenchanted by, scoffers coming up and, mocking, because Jake got an ego. We need to put the, discard of our egos. That's the old man. And persecutions. A lot of people, switched up the doctrine because they're trying to get a soft landing from when Esau come down with that great wrath. So Ephesians 4:14. That we henceforth be no more children. Right. Because, when you are a child, you think like a child. We need to be men in this thing. Tossed to and fro and carried about every wind of doctrine. Going to, and that's part of being double-minded. By the sleight of man and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive, which is true. That's why you got to have that spirit of discernment. And you got to try the spirits. If they not coming and they're not preaching things according to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, then you know that they're off. Okay, Psalms 125 and 1. They that trust in Yahweh shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. Right. And meaning it can't be moved, it's unmovable. That's how our faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua needs to be, man. And we need to have it and it needs to stay that way forever. Okay. Point blank period. Hebrews 13 and 9. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. And that meat goes into, doctrines and philosophies. Okay. That's why, we should only we shouldn't be entertaining anything else, because entertaining other things and other philosophies and doctrines leaves room for Satan to come play on your emotions. Okay, and if you're not rooted in this thing, you can easily be swayed. So truth isn't seasonal. If doctrine changes to fit the world, it never was truth. Hey, and that's simple, man. Because a lot of these people change the doctrine to appease, people of the world. Always abounding in the work of the Lord, which means teaching, studying, enduring, reading, rebuking, building up the body, and suffering for the truth's sake. Okay, and being patient, man, which goes into suffering for the truth's sake, man. Okay, there's always edification. Yahweh Shah said, if you love me, feed the sheep. Let's see, John 6:29. John chapter 6, verse 29. Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, this is the work of the Most High, that you believe on him whom he have sent. And whom have he sent? Yahweh Shah. And we're, come in that same stead of Yahweh Shah, start with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Because Yahweh Shah never switched it up like these other camps do. He was about his father's business, and he taught his father's words, not his words. 2 Timothy 4:2. 2 Timothy 4:2. Preach the word, be instant in season and out of season. Whether it's blazing hot outside, whether it's cold, if it's raining and you able to, if it's not raining too hard and you have something, you got something that can cover you from getting wet, still go do the work. If it's rain, sleet, hail, snow. All right. A lot of camps take the winter off because they say it's too cold. Reprove, rebuke, exhort. And exhort goes into building up the body with long suffering and doctrine. Right? 1 Corinthians 3:9. For we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are Yahweh's husbandry. Ye are his buildings. Right? So we're all, laboring for the same penny. That's why it's important to, to uplift and edify the body. That way, the morale can stay up and brothers can keep, that spirit, that fiery spirit to keep pushing. So the work isn't church attendance or emotion, it's laboring in the truth, especially when it's uncomfortable. Right. Also, if you sick and, you still able to talk and, you're not, having to go to the bathroom every 5-10 minutes or whatever, you can still get a lesson out. So for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain, the elect suffering has purpose. The reward is guaranteed, and Yahweh does not forget labor unless you drop the plow. Okay, Hebrews 6:10. For Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love which you have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. But we also know that he that endures until the end, the same shall be saved. So we got to endure. We got to keep pushing. Okay, you can't grow faint and get tired or, get scared when people start to come up. No, we got to stand boldly and stiffly for the name of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, because if you dropped the plow, you wasn't fit for the kingdom. Revelation chapter 14, verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which died in the Lord from henceforth. Yes, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do also follow them. So you had men that died, laboring, okay, while in the truth, and they works followed them to the spirit realm because they endured until the end of their course. Isaiah 49 and 4. Then I have said, I have labored in vain. I spent my strength for naught and in vain. Yet surely my judgment is with Yahweh, and my work is with my power. And now, said Yahweh, that framed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai, and my power shall be my strength. All right. So why shall he be glorious in the eyes of Yahweh? Okay, because he labored in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Oh man, the back of that truck said 144, man. Call Allah Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. But yeah, man. Okay. And our strength is with Yahweh. Okay, and our judgment. If we continue to labor and do what is right and pleasing to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, we'll get rewarded a righteous reward. But if we drop the plow and start and go back in the world and be wicked, all our righteousness is going to be forgotten, and he gonna keep tabs on the wickedness. So even when you're mocked, you feel unseen, and your progress seems slow. Heaven has a record, right? And it's not about pleasing men. Shit, I'm a brother who deals with no views to little views at all, but that doesn't get me discouraged because it's not about views. Okay, it's about pleasing Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai and feeding the sheep. Whoever needs to hear it will hear it. So in the Lord, why this matters. Labor must be according to truth, not plantation Christianity, not self-will, and not false doctrine. Okay, so Matthew 7 and 22 reads, and this is red letters, this is Yahweh Shah speaking. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. Right. Okay. Because you came, mixing in leaven with the truth. Okay. And a little leaven, the whole lump. Romans 10 and 2. All right. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. And then the NLT it reads, and I'm mad I can't pull it up right now, but it says that their zeal is misdirected. Right. It's misdirected because it's not of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Their zeal is really towards, making themselves look good. Okay. Or the love of money. But it's not, forwarding Yahweh why Yahweh Shai and, waking up the elect and telling these nations about their judgment. John 4:24. Oh, yeah. That's what a lot of these camps not doing. John 4 and verse 24. I'm going to start at 23. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must, not sometimes, not when you feel like it, okay, but at all times must worship him in spirit and in truth. And those who don't, Yahweh Shai is going to say, depart from me, I have not known you. So work only counts if it's done in Yahweh Shai, not in a false image or false religious system. So overall, 1 Corinthians 15:58 is a charge to the elect to stay locked in doctrine. Don't be emotionally or doctrinally moved. Keep laboring Keep laboring even when it's heavy. Trust the resurrection and the reward. Yeah, like Elder Yashawamba always say, man, you got to believe in the resurrection. Okay, you got to believe on the whole report, not just some of the report or half the report like some of these other camps do, man. Okay, because this truth ends in glory if you endure until the end and stay on that straight gate, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I pray and hope that some edification came out of this, giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect, and to you believers and listeners out there. Shalom.